Hi and welcome back to Beach Bumbling. Today would be our last day in Bacalar. Going to miss that place. Really liked it. If you're thinking about going to Bacalar, if you're in the area, you want to check out this restaurant at the end of this video. The food was just off the charts. It was great. We even had a steak expert from Alberta, self-proclaimed, give us his expert opinion on the steak that night. I'm also going to head over to Cocolitos via kayak and catch the sunset from the kayak for the first time all week. And if you plan on going to Bacalar, you might learn a couple things that might help you along the way. We'll be moving along to Varadero Cuba next. We hope to see you there. But for now, let's see how we spent our last day. If you haven't already subscribed to the channel, what the hell's wrong with you? I mean, not just kidding. Please consider doing so. Give the video a thumbs up. Hit the bell if you want to be notified when we make another video. And all those things help our channel grow, whether you believe it or not. That's what we're told anyway. So we hope you enjoy this one. Got off to a pretty late start this morning. I wanted tacos, but I couldn't convince anybody else to join me. So they went somewhere else. I came here to Mr. Taco. I ended up ordering the chuleta ahumada taco, that's a smoked pork chop, and also a papas and chorizo, which is potatoes and Mexican sausage. Both were really, really good. They're 17 pesos a piece, total for 34 pesos. That's about $2.25 Canadian or $1.70 US. Pretty cheap breakfast. I was so hungry, I forgot to take a picture of it. After the tasty taco breakfast, we loaded up the car and we were off to LOS Rapidos for the day. It's a pretty cool place that we think you should check out. We highly recommend it if you're ever in that area. We'll link the video that we did on that place below in the description. After spending an awesome day there, we headed back to our casa for the rest of the afternoon. It'd be about 4 o'clock at this point. And it's never the same from minute to minute. It's crazy. It completely changes based on the time of day and all that shit. After a couple of minutes, we settled in down at the Palapa by the water. Like I said, we had a couple drinks over there, just shot the shit for a bit. By this time of the trip, I was having some sunset withdrawals, so I decided to take out one of the kayaks that came with the Airbnb and see what the sunset looked like from the middle of the water. You can also do a boat trip to do that if you want. But hey, we'd already paid for the kayak, so I figured why not. When I left, I realized I had enough time to check out Cocolitos again before the sunset, so I did that and hung out there for a little bit. If you're keeping score, it took about 40 minutes to paddle from the Cenote Esmeralda over to Cocolitos. And because of the time of day that I got there, there was hardly anyone there. Nobody bothered me for paying an admission fee or anything when I got there. But I also did enter by the water instead of the front gate. We did a separate video on this place, so we'll link that in the video description. If I had any chance making the sunset, though, I would have to leave Cocolitos right now. For me, I feel it was definitely worth the paddle out there to take a look at the sunset. Like I said, I was jonesing for one all week, and this is the first one I really kind of got to see. Hang out here, grab a couple more pictures, but then I got to paddle back to there. That's where our casa is, so that'll take a little time. So I was just going to enjoy this. Then it was time to paddle back in. It does get dark fairly quickly once the sun drops, so be aware of that. And it was time for us to think about getting some dinner, and what a treat. Our last night here, we did find a really good restaurant in walking distance from our casa, and we'll share with you what that looked like, what the prices were, and what we ate. Just walking to supper. This restaurant's pretty close to our Airbnb. Not sure what they serve, but we were really not in any shape to drive anywhere, so we're going to check it out. It looks really nice, actually. I don't know, I'm sure it's going to be a taco on my plate. Actually, I'm wrong, this is not the place. We're going to keep walking for a bit. The funny thing here is we thought it was like a 5 to 10 minute walk. It ended up being about a half an hour. So a little bit longer than we had hoped for. But there was lots of stuff to see along the way. Stuff we drove by every day and just didn't really notice necessarily. But you notice a lot more when you're just walking around the neighborhood. So I suggest you get out. After a much longer than anticipated walk, we ended up here at, and I'll probably butcher this, at Chiltepan Marisquilos. From the looks of things, this was a brand new restaurant to this area, and if you think you've seen one in Playa del Carmen, you're absolutely right. There is one there as well. As you can see from the menu, there's a lot of different food and drink options here. It's very well decorated. There's a lot of tables, so it can handle a lot of people. It's lit up very well at night, so you're not going to miss it. It's even got a pool. And one thing that it has tonight that it won't have every night is a big, juicy full moon off the second floor. What a view. No surprise, I'm probably getting tacos of some kind. I might try an octopus taco because I've never had one before.
I'd like to get something grilled because we saw this place
last night. Might as well get her done. So you got some free shrimp soup, little sampler with our meal. I've never had this before. Actually, it's quite good. Well, we were waiting for our food to come. We had a couple beers and a couple margaritas. The servers were really good, made sure we didn't run out of anything.
Bobby.
I'll even do.
I have no idea what the name of this restaurant is, but this food looks really good. Got an octopus taco, fish taco, shrimp taco. What do you got?
Skirt steak.
Skirt steak, medium. Kim, you got a what?
Breaded chicken breast.
It's huge. Al, you got the same as Karen? But
Look at that.
well done.
Magnifico.
It looks good. All this stuff looks good.
Yeah.
I'll share the cost later. In the intro, I mentioned we had a self-proclaimed steak expert to weigh in on the Mexican steak here. So you're going to see that right now.
Oh my lord. The steak? Best steak I've ever had.
Ever had?
I'm from Alberta. But in Mexico, I'm from Alberta. That's all we eat is steaks. This is 10 out of 10. It is.
That's awesome.
Seriously. That bite.
Sound convincing? Let's see what she says.
That bite, baby. You'll like it. Kim likes steak.
This will
too.
be the litmus test.
Compared to the ones we've had lately. It was juicy, the flavor's good.
She looks like she's pulling bubblegum. To be fair, Al did give Kim the one piece of gristly meat on both him and Karen's plates, so Karen liked her steak too. Maybe not the best she's had, but she said it was a pretty good steak. Chewy?
Oh, yeah.
I gave her, no, I
So all that food cost us 719 pesos. The booze was 670 pesos. Totals right around 1,400 pesos. Everybody thought their food was good. The octopus I'd never had before. For me, it was kind of a weird texture, but it tasted really good. I'd definitely recommend this place. I would definitely go back here if I'm ever in the area. It was starting to get pretty late. We had to get up early to drive back home tomorrow, so we headed back to the casa. Had a couple more sips out on the Palapa. Look at how bright that sky is from the moon. That's nuts, eh? But that would be the end of this Bacalar trip, pretty much. We catch a beautiful sunrise in the morning, pack up the car, and hit the road. If you could help the channel out, please like the video, subscribe if you haven't. Next, we're off to Cuba. We've never been there before. The beaches and watercolors are just out of this world there. I can't believe we've avoided Cuba for all these years, and we'll tell you why we did. But anyway, we hope you've enjoyed the Bacalar series. We'll see you next week in Varadero with a drink in our hand and our toes in the sand. Until the next time, cheers.